Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about brows. First, I'm going to cover the different methods of brow shaping and maintenance, and then I'm going to go over how I fill mine in and different methods of doing that. So first of all, one method of shaping your brows is with tweezers. I prefer Tweezerman, but a lot of different companies make different kind of tweezers, some that are really pointy and some that are slanted like that, and some have even more slant than that or less slant. It just depends on what you prefer and the precision that you need. Another method is waxing. Now you can go to a salon and have this done, which is probably the best method if you want to achieve that base, something that you can maintain yourself. I think it's a good idea to go to a salon and have a professional wax your brows. I'd say at least every 3 months just to keep a good shape, and then you can kind of maintain with either waxing yourself or threading or plucking. So with waxing, you can also do the at-home versions where you can buy the wax like at the drugstore, or they have these eyebrow shapers. I don't really recommend these to really get a good shape, but to maintain, I'm sure a lot of you have growth kind of like around your brows and in between and underneath that's just kind of, peach fuzz that you want to get rid of. They have these they're kind of like tape strips. I don't know if you can see the different shapes in those. But that way you can kind of get all the hair around here all at once and you don't have to pluck all those little peach fuzzy hairs. So those are nice. You can get those at the drugstore. Another method, like I mentioned, is threading. And I know a lot of girls on YouTube have some tutorials on that. I've never tried it before and I've never had it done to me, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And it's supposed to be less painful and less irritating because you're not putting that wax on your skin and ripping it off. Sometimes you can get red and irritated around there for a while. Also with threading and tweezing, you don't have to worry about being on certain medications like you do with waxing. I know for waxing, first of all, you need to have at least 2 weeks of growth to be able for that wax to grab on. And I think you can, you can obviously tweeze much shorter hair than you can with waxing. And I believe threading gets the shorter hairs as well. But as far as medication, Retin-A, Differin, BHA, AHAs, and Renova, I've read are supposed to be stopped 2 to 4 weeks before you get waxings. I used to be on Differin when I was in high school, and I think I had stopped 2 weeks before, and that wasn't even enough for me. I had had some skin ripped off from like the middle part of my eyebrows, and those medications thin your skin and make it so that they're a lot more vulnerable when you wax, so sometimes that skin just comes right off and it's really painful and it just gets kind of like oozy and gross and you have to put Neosporin on it all week, so that's not a good thing. One thing that Anastasia offers for just like at-home tweezing and stuff like that is her after tweeze cream, which is just a nice soothing cream that kind of helps calm the redness. This is kind of nice to have on hand if you're kind of doing a lot of tweezing. If you just have a couple hairs, you don't really need this, but you can kind of smooth this on and it really helps soothe that area so it's not as red and inflamed. Also, as far as brow filling in tools go, I couldn't find my Anastasia Brow Duo, which is the 2 powders that you can mix to kind of match your hair color or the color that you desire. But I do have the brush. One end is the angled end that you apply the powder to your brows with. The other end is a spoolie to just kind of like brush everything into place. And another alternative to powder and filling it in with a brush are the little brow pens that they have. MAC makes a waxy crayon that's colored, and I've used that before. Those are really easy to use. They're not as precise, but they are very fast. Prairie, I don't know how you pronounce that, but they make this Luxe Brow Liner Automatique. I have it in taupe, and this is nice to have. It's not waxy like the MAC is, but it's kind of like a cross between a pencil and a powder. Pencils are another one that you can use. I know Chanel makes a good eyebrow pencil that has a spoolie on the end. This one also has a spoolie on the end. But whatever you prefer, you just kind of have to try them out. A brow powder is going to give you a lot more precision, but it does take a little bit longer to take your brush and go to your powder and come back and keep going back for more powder. But it gives you the opportunity to put smaller brush strokes so it can look like, your strokes can look like hairs. The pencils are probably the next best thing to powder, and those are pretty precise because you can do little flicks that look like hairs as well. Next, I would say would be something like this that I have, that's not waxy, but it's, in a stick form, kind of like the automatic eyeliners. These give you precision, and they're a little bit faster than the powder. And lastly, the waxes are a lot less precise because usually the application is a little larger. You don't really have a smaller section to work with, but those are really fast because you can just throw them on and you don't even need a brow gel over them necessarily, because they hold everything into place with that wax that's built into the color. In my next video, I'm going to talk about the techniques for filling in your brows and highlighting and accentuating around your brows.